In their first 5 games of the season, the Atlanta Falcons gave up only 2 touchdowns. Last week in Chicago, number 84, Brian Baschnagel of the Bears made it 3 in 6 games. Unfortunately for the Bears, this 84-yard play came with just 5 seconds left, and the Bears trailing by 16-3. The Falcon defense had done its job earlier and still ranks number 1 in the NFL for fewest points yielded, 32. Coach Lehman Bennett's defensive philosophy is simple. Don't allow more than 3 yards per running play. And when the opponent is forced to pass, come at him with a variety of pass rushers. Linemen, linebackers, safeties, and even cornerbacks. Against the Bears, the Falcons had 4 sacks and forced 5 turnovers. And as a result, they continue to share first place with the Rams in the NFC West. But even Coach Bennett wonders if he can continue to win with such low scores. Meanwhile, in St. Louis, Don Coryell of the Cardinals and Hank Stram of the Saints were 2 coaches whose teams didn't play much defense last week. First, Jim Hart and the Cardinals rolled up an early 21-point lead. In the second quarter, number 12, Bobby Scott, put 21 points on the board for the Saints. Number 86, tight end James Thaxton, brought New Orleans to within a touchdown. And then Scott went to his other tight end, Henry Childs, for the score which tied the game at 21 just before the half. The superb individual effort by Childs brought even Coach Stram into the end zone celebration. And for a while, it seemed the Saints could keep pace even without the often injured Archie Manning. But in the second half, the NFL's most prolific passing offense still had some tricks left over. The Cardinals and Saints combined for almost 1,000 yards of offense and a total of 80 points. The Cardinals, with 49, had finally found their famous scoring power. And now that they're up to 3-3 for the season, another wild card playoff spot begins to look a lot more realistic. In Philadelphia, Ron Jaworski and the Eagles were up against the Dallas Cowboys, the team that seems to have the NFC East already won. But Dick Vermeil's Birds were not about to concede a thing to Tom Landry's undefeated Texans. This touchdown reception by wide receiver Charles Smith gave Philadelphia a 7-0 advantage in the second quarter. And when the NFL's highest scoring offense could produce only 6 points for Dallas through the first 3 quarters, it looked as though the season's biggest upset might be forthcoming. But in the end, 3 typically resourceful plays made the difference for the Cowboys. One was a blindside blast by Randy White, which not only gave Dallas the ball, but broke the thumb on Ron Jaworski's passing hand. Bill Bergey's mean green defenders played their best game in years, sacking Roger Staubach 5 times. But one broken play led to the longest run of Staubach's 9-year pro career, 33 yards. The third key play was the one which won the game for the Cowboys. Jay Salty spiked a Spike Jones punt. Charlie Waters recovered and scored, and the Cowboys were more than relieved to escape Philadelphia still undefeated, and with a 3-game lead over the rest of the NFC East. Each Sunday, the Washington Redskins hear George Allen's sermon concerning the value of 43 men together. Then, hyped by this emotional spiel, the Redskins go hunting scalps. Against the Giants, however, tried and true intimidation tactics cost more than they were worth. And if they scared the Giants, it never became evident. New York outplayed and out-hustled Washington during the game's final 30 minutes. And when number 9, Joe Pisarcik, drilled receiver Jimmy Robinson, the Giants had struck oil for a 17-6 victory. While the Washington Redskins seem to be fast fading, the New England Patriots appear to be coming on strong. The problems that earlier cost them 2 of their first 3 games at last seemed ironed out. And last Sunday, the Patriots set AFC Eastern Division rival Baltimore out to dry. Burt Jones' offense failed to register 90 yards of total offense and limped away without so much as a touchdown. New England's Steve Grogan, on the other hand, proved poised and precise, withstanding the infamous sack pack rather well. The Patriots controlled play throughout as Grogan baffled Baltimore with an offensive scheme designed to drop the Colts from the ranks of the unbeaten. Darryl Stingley's 4 pass receptions exceeded 100 yards, and Grogan's flip to multi-purpose tight end Russ Francis put the game away for good. (17-3) was the final as the all-powerful New England machine churned past the Colts to further tighten this divisional race. There is one other team with plans of their own for the AFC Eastern crown, and certainly the Dolphins are playing the part of a legitimate contender. New components have strengthened this once championship structure, and it was this renovated no-name defense that towered over, then collapsed upon Seattle last Sunday. Seahawk feathers flew as all semblance of an offense was choked off. Miami's defense played superbly. So well, in fact, Seattle managed only 1 touchdown, and that took a sterling effort by receiver Steve Largent. One touchdown, however, would not be nearly enough, for the Dolphins are a team that can explode. It seemed each time Seattle turned the ball over, Miami was digging for the end zone. Miami speedsters like Freddie Solomon, number 86, kept the Dolphins in good field position all day and kept the pressure squarely on the visiting Seahawks. The main thrust of Miami's offense this season has been a precision passing game that flies, rain or shine. Turiel Harris, number 82, is one of 3 Dolphin receivers who catches everything in sight. This ability, coupled with speed to burn, make Harris and teammates Freddie Solomon and Nat Moore, number 89, as good as any receiving tandem anywhere. Twice, Moore held on for touchdowns as Miami ripped Seattle 31-13, extending their record to 5 wins against only 1 loss. The Miami Dolphins have been synonymous with winning football for years, but this brand of excitement has been most pleasing. Just ask Dolphin fans. They're the ones grinning ear to ear. The 1977 season has reached adolescence, and as it matures, each week's games become significantly more crucial. Last week in Pittsburgh, 2 ailing Generals were leading their teams in a first-place battle in the AFC Central. Houston's Dante Pastorini suffered ankle problems earlier in the year, And last week he suffered the suffocating weight of the steel curtain. While Pastorini was feeling some mild discomfort, his counterpart, Terry Bradshaw, fell under the gun one time and took a good shot on his broken left wrist. The pain, though excruciating, was transitory. In other words, it hurt like heck for a little bit, but Terry was out for only a couple of plays. On the other hand, Pastorini's problems lasted longer, like all afternoon. 5 costly interceptions, such as this one by defensive end Dwight White, sealed the Oilers' doom. White had 2 aerial thefts, a rarity for a defensive end, and well worth a little boogaloo. A quick recovery by Terry Bradshaw was followed by this 6-pointer to tight end Benny Cunningham, and Pittsburgh was on its way up in the standings. This highly unusual play was all the Steelers needed to take the prime out of the Oilers' pump. "49 yards to the end zone for number 82, John Stallworth, spelled victory for Pittsburgh, 27-10. Now that frost is on the pumpkin finally in Pittsburgh, there's one steel structure that's definitely high-rise. But they're not alone in the penthouse, because in Buffalo, the Browns continued to play tough, exciting football. Running back Greg Pruitt hit running back Cleo Miller for 1 score as the Browns overcame an early Bills lead with a display of tenacity. But even better than tenacity was luck, which quarterback Brian Sipe certainly had on this deflection, which nestled nicely into the arms of Paul Warfield, who hustled into the end zone. The Bills gave a valiant effort at catching up on this 91-yard punt return by cornerback Keith Moody. Moody traveled far enough for 2 touchdowns, which is what the Bills would have needed as they finally fell 27-16 for their 5th loss of the year. Down in the Tampa Bay area, clowns abound, but hardly anyone's laughing at what the Bucs are giving away. Last week, they again proved that when it comes to scoring, they're the most inoffensive team in the NFL, averaging a mere 6 points per game. But one thing the Buccaneers do have is a defense that packs a wallop. Despite its relative proficiency, the defense can't be out there for 60 minutes. And when they're not, then bad things happen. Number 51, Jim Gueno, blocked this punt. And that was all the Packers needed to set up a 5-yard Eric Torkelson score and a 13-0 win, their 2nd of the season. For Tampa Bay, the season's getting longer by the week, while for Green Bay, happier times may be ahead. The Cincinnati Bengals are growing tired of having their heads patted and being told not to worry about their slow start. There's tension in their manner and renewed determination in their step. Last week against Denver, rookie fullback Pete Johnson burned a 65-yard trail through the vaunted Bronco defense, setting up a 1-yard touchdown. But renewed determination wasn't quite enough against pro football's surprise undefeated team. Denver's unbeaten status derives in large part from the Craig Morton revival. After 2 tough years in New York, Morton arrived in Denver eager to impress. This 81-yard gem to Jack Dolbin points to just one of the new dimensions Morton has added to the Bronco attack. Why, the old guy even runs an occasional option play. Come to think of it, Morton's only 34, and his addition has made life much easier for a defense that's both very good and very nasty. The closer one looks, the more evident it becomes that Denver packs a real wallop. On the other hand, it's not hard to see that Cincinnati is in a whole lot of trouble. At first glance, rookie head coach Ken Meyer of San Francisco likewise may appear to be in a bit of trouble. But not really, for nobody expected the 49ers to win that many games this season, especially the Detroit Lions. Last Sunday, the 49ers caught Detroit looking ahead to stronger competition. Jim Plunkett nailed Gene Washington on scoring passes of 32 and 35 yards, while Wilbur Jackson found the touchdown lane from 48. '49er fans aren't used to all this offensive explosiveness. Hey, San Francisco, you won! Another team looking to put some pizzazz in their attack are the Kansas City Chiefs, whose game plan last week contained all sorts of clever twists. But the Chiefs didn't need trickery against the San Diego Chargers. A simple square out to tight end Walter White did the job nicely. Talk about a home field disadvantage. The Chargers hadn't beaten Kansas City in San Diego in 5 years. Last week they blew it again. Late in period 4, number 46 Tim Gray recovered a fumble, then disappeared into a crowd for the game's winning touchdown. The victory was Kansas City's first this season. So take a bow, Tim Gray, wherever you are. But the most inspired performance of Week 6 came from New York Jet quarterback Richard Todd. Seemingly overmatched but completely unruffled, Todd took on the Oakland Raider defense and nearly won. This 87-yarder went to Wesley Walker, one of 4 Jet receivers who wound up on the scoring end of Todd's touchdown passes. Todd hit passes of every variety here, splitting the middle to Richard Castor. When the Raiders took away the post, Todd went to the flag, this time floating one to Jerome Barkham in the corner. Unfortunately for Richard Todd, along the way, the Jets missed 2 short field goals and an extra point. Against Oakland, that's tantamount to throwing red meat to a school of sharks. Ken Stabler has engineered comebacks in much bigger games than this one. Against the Jets, he rallied his frustrated squad from a 13-point deficit using every available sticky mitt. Suddenly, the Jet lead slipped to 6, and midway through period 4, dreams of an upset met an untimely end. Against most teams, Todd's 4-touchdown performance would have been enough. But the Raiders aren't like most teams, and Ken Stabler isn't like most quarterbacks. Wherever he goes, he's still the people's choice.